my scrappy friends, this is Hannah with you today, and I'm going to be doing an art journal page for Shimmerz. So I'm just getting my page all ready. I'm sorry that I'm like partway off. So I'm using a dauber that has some acrytones in it that is, I think I used the jade, I used yellow and a little bit of white, and then I added some airbrush medium to it, so it's really thin. But I really thought that this would be a good base to start off with. I really like this color. It's really nice and bright. And using the dauber was a really easy way to get it to, apply. And I'm also going to be adding some extra white because I kind of want to tone down a few of the areas just to have a little bit of a variance. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this at this point. I'm just playing, and that is a lot of times how I like to start my art journaling pages, just, playing and really just kind of having fun with it. So I'm really loving this fine line bottle with, it has navy and black acrytones together. And then I use some airbrush medium to thin it out a lot. So basically you're using like a little bit more than half airbrush medium to paint. And you just have to, when you're doing it in a fine line bottle like this, you just have to decide how thin you want it. So you can add a little bit less airbrush medium to have it a little thicker. You see... Right now you're just watching me play around. I have a little bit of extra paint, so I didn't want to waste it. So I'm just kind of playing around in this page that I've already started, and I'm just doodling with this because why not? So this is kind of what I do. I didn't cut it out. Like a lot of times I will cut this stuff out so you don't see, but I thought it would be kind of fun to just share with you guys a little bit of how my process goes, because I think that this just helps me play and kind of get an idea of what else I might want to do on my page while I'm waiting for it to dry, because I did want it to dry a little bit before I kept going. And so since I had my fine line bottle kind of all situated, and I decided I wanted it a little bit more of that dark jade. So I'm adding some of the Jiven Jade back on, and I went sideways and then I realized I didn't really like that, but that's okay. And so I'm going to add a little bit of lighter color again. Now, with the acrytones in the Shimmerz store, they are discontinued for 2018. But there may be still a few left, so if you're wanting to get your hands on them to try them out, you're more than welcome to. They are a acrylic paint that has a primer into it. So the one thing that I found that you need to work with them really fast, because once they start drying, because of the primer that's in it, it can really have like a coarser texture, almost like the gesso that you just use plain. So yeah, so just keep that in mind, that it has a pretty short life, and it's pretty translucent, so it works well in art journaling, because then you can add a lot of layers, and the more layers of the paint that you add, the darker it gets. And these colors are really fun to play with. I really like them. It's a little bit different than using like a regular acrylic paint. Now what you're seeing me do right now is add some gold, and this is not a Shimmerz product, but I don't have any gold acrylic paint or acrytones, so and there's no gold acrytones anyway, and I didn't want to use inklings because that is more of a water based, and I thought it would just sit too much on top of the acrylic paint, so that wasn't what I was looking for. So I added this in, and it's a Bria Reese paint writer, and so it's a really thick paint. I'm not really sure how I feel about like if you could actually really write with it very well. I feel like you kind of have to put a lot of pressure on it, so if you don't have good hands like I do, it's kind of hard. But you can do dots and stuff like that, which is what I did, and you can just like do stripes. So here I'm mixing some of the Jiven Jade with some of purple that I had from my stash. Acrytones does have a purple color, but I use some other paint, and so I made like more of a purple color, and I added that in there. And so now I'm going to figure out, oh yeah, I have to clog out my fine line bottle, because I think I go back in and I add some more doodling and stuff in here. I'm almost done with this page for the most part. I'm pretty much, or well, at least the paint stuff goes. I really wanted to keep it. Oh yeah, I forgot that this got all clogged up. This is the first time that this gold clogged up, and you really have to get in there and get all the dried paint out. So definitely know that anytime you have anything with a fine line bottle, that you just want to make sure you keep it nice and clean, and usually using just like a craft needle will help get it out. So I'm adding more gold because I felt like with the purple it really toned down the gold that I had in there, so I added more. But I still am trying not, well, I did go a little bit more crazy than I wanted to, but I did still try to leave quite a bit of that teal all out there, and stuff like that. So I am going to add a little bit of doodling on it after with just a charcoal pencil, which adds a fun little aspect too. But I'm just trying to use the rest of this paint because I got quite a bit on that first little section. And so here it dried, and so now I'm going to add some of this doodling that I was talking about. And I just took a charcoal pencil. Now, one thing with charcoal pencils, they work really fun over top of acrylic paint. It's the best thing that I found that works really well. The only thing about it is that if you don't want it to go anywhere else, you might want to use some kind of sealant. So you could use like mixed media, like a multi-medium gel or something like that. Or they also have different kinds of sprays. I don't mind if it kind of smudges a little bit over time. That's not a big deal to me. But if that is something that would bug you, I would definitely just add like a little sealant to it, and a little bit would go a long way for a page like this. I mean, so yeah. So now I'm gonna just add some stamps, because it needed some kind of some kind of words. I don't know what it is, but about almost every single art journal page that I have some kind of word on it, just because I feel like that kind of helps tie everything together to the end. But I really did want to keep this a really simple page, because I kind of wanted to show you guys that you could do an art journal page really easy and quick and simple. So I wanted to check on and make sure I spelled praise right, because I'm the worst speller. But I'm also just checking out to see how I like to stamp. Now, one thing that I will say, stamping in your art journal is going to be difficult, because as you can see, it didn't stamp all the way. So I took some of the letters off and I re-stamped in the area, and I'm gonna re-stamp praise on the other side as well, just so that the one side and the other side kind of reflect each other. And in the end, it's gonna say, all creation praise him. I just wanted to make sure that I actually told you exactly what it said. And I'm just kind of playing around with putting it on my block, and it's not going to be perfect, like the lettering and everything, and that's okay, because I don't want it to be. This is just having fun, and I just wanted to kind of I'm thinking about like spring off in the, like, preparing the winter, preparing for spring, and how, you know, this time of the year you kind of, a lot of things start going quiet, but it's really in the preparation for spring. You know, this is the time of the year when animals start getting pregnant and they get all cozy in their homes, and flowers and plants, their root systems really start being prepared for the spring, you know, for creation. So yeah, you know, it's just one of those things that I kind of think about, and I like to every once in a while make my art journals just something about what I'm thinking about, and just kind of reflect some of those thoughts, so that I can, what the things that I'm thinking about, I am actually putting out on a page for myself to remember and meditate on, if you will. You know, I mean, you could definitely do any kind of thing that motivates you on an art journal page, or you could just leave no words on it. I mean, that's one awesome thing about art journaling, is it's about what you want it to be. So here are some close-ups. I hope that you guys enjoyed this process and see that you don't have to make art journaling really complicated. You could just slap some paint on and have some fun. And also, don't forget to mention me in the checkout in the Shimmerz store, and you can get a free gift from Shimmerz from me. And I will see you guys later. Have a great scrappy week. Bye.